What actor/actress was completely 100% wrong for the role?
Ferdia Shaw as Artemis Fowl. He conveys none of the intelligence, shrewdness, or relentless determination of the book character. He comes across as a child dressed up in a suit and handed cue cards with smart-sounding lines to read unconvincingly. He's a child, so I'm going to lay the blame for that one on the casting director.
Nah, that was the movie creators/Disney deciding the book wasn't safe enough. They completely butchered the character, from the first scene to the last. They butchered the rest of the movie too, changed the story completely, and then didn't want to spend the money to reshoot it and make it coherent at all. His last line in the movie, "I'm Artemis Fowl, and I'm a criminal mastermind," was so absolutely ridiculous because he just wasn't. He was in the book though.
I never understand this. They pay millions for the rights to a wildly successful, well-selling book. And then are like, okay, let's just change the entire story and keep the aesthetic. Then they wonder why the film flops and fans of the book call it dog shit.
Terry Pratchett stopped dealing with movie suits because of what they wanted to do if they could get the movie rights for his book Mort. Mort is a book about a boy who becomes Death's apprentice at a job fair. Like, the literal death. And he ends up moving into Death's house, meeting his family, failing to do the job he's supposed to do, because he starts crushing on someone who is supposed to die, and consequently causing a reality-based catastrophe as reality itself attempts to change to fix his fuck-ups. They wanted to remove the character Death from the movie adaptation. Death. From Mort. The character is arguably more important to the story than Mort himself. And they were going to remove him. Pratchett would be so pissed about what they've turned the Watch into on that new series.
There was literally nothing right with the Artemis Fowl movie.
All of the books are pretty short and can easily be adapted to the big screen too. Them spouting off Butler's name within the first few minutes made me just turn that crap off.
I didn't last past Artemis surfing.
Something he would never do ever.
The whole scene where he was shooting a gun and running and generally performing fitness-related activities. Just, no. Wrong.
I still haven't seen it. This makes me cry inside. I remember reading Colfer's statement that he was proud to have inspired it, and I was broken.
That and the fact that he was dressed in casual clothes like a normal teenager, and not an expensive 5-piece suit.
Jafar in the new Aladdin. He wasn't believable or menacing and way too young. Plus for much of his screen time he's standing next to Naveed Negahban, who would have been a much better choice.
Joel Mchale as Roy in the ill-fated US remake of the IT Crowd. We want a scruffy and misanthropic IT nerd, so let's get an actor known for charisma and confidence. Okay.
My favorite thing about it was that they couldn't recast Moss, so they just kept Richard Ayoade. It's literally just Moss moved to America, and living the same life as he did in the UK show.
I actually want to watch it just to see Moss in America now.
It's only a pilot, and is basically a shot-for-shot remake of the UK pilot.
But they Americanized the IT room to make it nerdy cool as well. Edit, thank you for the award.
Ugh, that defeats the purpose of the dingy basement office.
I absolutely love Mchale in Community. My jaw hit the floor when I saw him as Roy in the IT Crowd. What the hell casting was that?
He's more handsome than the guy that's famous for being handsome. Doesn't make for a convincing awkward nerd character.
His shadow.
Even his shadow.
There's a US remake of IT Crowd? Yikes.
Only the pilot episode. Richard Ayoade came back to play Moss. The pilot is almost word for word the exact same as the original, and somehow none of it is funny. That's what they did with the In-Betweeners. And ruined it. Edit, wow, the replies. Yes, there was an American attempt at the In-Betweeners. If you make it past one episode, you must really like torture. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/the_left_American_TV_series. The Office was a rare success of this type of thing. The language/slang used wasn't so specific that it made or broke the show. Bus wanker doesn't work well in American English. Yes, there are lots of other shows attempted. Most of them suck too. Edit 2. I was incorrect about the scripting of The Office. Fixed my comments.
Jon Voight as a snake hunter in Anaconda is fine, but him as a Paraguayan snake hunter, just, why lol.
Because he learned his accent from his maid, who was probably not even from Paraguay. Fun movie, but he was ridiculous in it.
No, Mr. Anaconda, no home, no.
Jon Voight looks like a guy wearing a Jon Voight mask.
John Dorian is Dr. Acula. He is way too hammy, and not very threatening for a vampire, who is behind loads of mysterious deaths in the hospital. He clearly only got the part, because he wrote the darn script for it. It was also a very racist filming process, where multiple times Chris Turk was told to act blacker. In good conscience, I can't support the film.
A great ending for the movie though. I mean, it's really impressive when the name Dr. Acula comes on screen, and they remove the dot, squeeze the words together and reveal Dracula. Simply amazing.
Mickey Rooney as Mr. Yunioshi.
I think I remember that film.
The movie is Breakfast at Tiffany's for those wondering like me. Because no child comment names the movie. Never fails, I read Mickey Rooney, but in my head I see Mickey Rourke. Now as Mr. Yunioshi.
Maybe an unpopular opinion, but Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. I like her as an actress, but I just couldn't get into it. I felt like she struggled with hiding her accent.
I hate it when she tries to do an American accent of any kind in roles. It's so terrible. I love her and normally don't care or notice when English actors do American accents, but hers just always sticks out. She does at least 3 different accents in this trailer alone, 2 different accents in the first sentence she says. It's kind of cool listening to it change midway through her first sentence. Her southern accent is crazy bad, tease Nick Cage and Con Air level of bad southern accent.
I'm Josie sounds sort of Australian, and I just moved in the other night is some kind of southern accent.
Despite some of the movies being good, the X-Men franchise fucked around with most of their characters and the storylines way too much. Young Jean as Phoenix made no sense. She needed to be a central figure on the team alongside Cyclops for several movies to have the correct impact. Don't even get me started on how badly they fucked up Mystique and then were forced to shoehorn her into everything. Or Storm. Or Rogue. The characters they got right really worked though: Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto.
Kevin Hart is Roland in the upcoming Borderlands movie. Everyone who knows anything about Borderlands will agree with me. Terry Crews should be playing Roland. He's big, has comedic chops, and can play the no-nonsense straight shooter badass when everything else is wild.
Terry Crews should be playing Mr. Torg. Colin Farrell as Alexander the Great. As one of my old university professors once said, I wouldn't follow that guy to the end of my driveway.
You can't talk about Oliver Stone's Alexander without mentioning that the madman has 4 different directors' cuts of the film.
I swear there's a good movie in there. Just give me another shot.
One of the cuts has a short message at the beginning saying that this is the most complete version, because there is nothing left to add to it. It's literally every single scene they shot. I don't know, it always struck me as being sort of like a sculptor trying to submit a solid block of marble as a finished statue.
And Angelina Jolie as his mother FFS.
That's not what bothered me, it was the weird accents.
IIRC Colin Farrell couldn't entirely get rid of his Irish accent, so the decision was made to try to get all the Macedonians to speak with a pseudo-Irish accent to match him. I don't think it worked, to put it mildly.
Irish Greeks. Yeah, that was never going to end well.
I think Colin Farrell, and all I think of is In Bruges. Shows that even though the actor or actress in question can still be top-notch, but still be the wrong casting. Dude is a great actor, but not the emperor type whatsoever.
Cameron Diaz was horrible in the 2014 Annie remake. She hasn't made a movie since.
To be fair, anyone would look terrible in comparison to Carol Burnett's Miss Hannigan.
There is a moment where she stares thoughtfully at a painting, hung perfectly straight on the wall, before tilting it slightly so it looks level in her drunken state. I have no idea if that was in the script or something she did in the moment, but it's perfect. Her performance is a masterpiece.
I saw it in the window, and I just couldn't resist it. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=etkhw-v5h2i.
Alison Janney is the only actress who could play Carol Burnett.
Alison Janney could do about whatever she wants, it feels like sometimes.
Alison Janney could be the actual White House press secretary. And she would be awesome.
Apparently she retired a few years ago.
It's weird how we almost see these big star actors as failures if they stop making movies. Like if I had her money, I'd be quite happy to retire too. There's a lot of former big actors that seem to have retired or semi-retired and just gone and done something else. If your last paycheck was $5 million,